How to raise tough-skinned children. Children who don't break, but shake it off and bounce. The other day, I read someone reviewing this movie, this Monopoly's movie that is trending, Love in Every Word. And the person, all he could describe the lead actor with was the guy with a mole on his face. Really, the word is constantly criticizing, throwing lemons. Now, what we want to do is to deliberately make sure we are nurturing, we are raising children who don't break, no matter the weight, who have the mental resilience, the emotional resilience, children who have the resilience to actually navigate whatever life throws at them. Because the truth of the matter is, life will always throw things. Disappointment will happen, rejection will happen, failures will happen. Even people will body shame them. They need this tough skin. They need mental resilience to be able to navigate, to be able to shake it off and not break. Now today, you want to grab your pen, you want to grab your paper and sit back and join me on this journey as I take you through how to nurture tough skin in your child. My name is Enimio Rebel, and this is Parenting with Enimio Rebel, powered by the Visionary Parent Academy. The Visionary Parent Academy is an academy where parents get empowered with practical skills to actually raise the child they have. It begins with a vision. Yes, you want to create a vision and know exactly where you are going to in your parenting. And every day in the academy, you get tips, you get tools, you get strategies that will help you walk the path that actually leads to your vision. There's a popular saying that what happens to a man doesn't define a man. It is how the man responds to it that actually defines a man. So true. If you are someone who research a lot and you would have read about so many people, success stories, you realize that one of the key ingredients to success, whatever type of success, is resilience, tough skin. I read about Cosmo Maduka, the Coach Motto guy, and are you kidding me? There was a time he went from grace to grass. Like, he started from a very humble beginning, and at some point in his life, he went back to humble. No, he didn't give up. I also read about Femi Otedola, how he lost his business. I read about Mike Adenuga, how at some point he had to fly, had to leave Nigeria. So it's a lot, really. Success is not always rosy. The other time we've read about people, the other time they shared the story of a guy who was, I think they said he was the owner of Buka Hunt or something like that, a thriving restaurant in Lagos, Nigeria. And for whatever reason, he couldn't take it anymore and he had to put an end to his own life. Now we are talking about resilience because life will always happen. Life will throw lemons. Like they say, oh, when life throws lemon, you make lemonades. The ability for you to even make lemonades out of it, it doesn't just happen. It's not in the saying. It takes preparation, and that is what we are learning today. Preparation. Prepare your child, because life will happen. Disappointment will happen. Failure will happen. Setback will happen. You get betrayal. Betrayals by trusted persons will happen. So how is your child going to navigate that time? To develop tough skin means that your child can handle criticism without breaking, him being called the guy with a mole on his face, or your child is being body shamed without necessarily breaking. That is having a tough skin, because people will always say, they will always look for something to say. They will always want to put you down. It is what it is. So your child will also face these things where people try to put them down, where people just criticize them, body shame them, and all of that. Your child should be able to face it without breaking. That is tough skin. Your child should be able to manage stress and setback. Things are not going the way they are supposed to go. They should be able to manage it without going into alternatives. I have an extended relative. So one time he was doing very well. I was still very young then. He was already a big boy, doing very well. He even got married and had a child. And one time, I think that was about the first time I ever heard about Yahoo. It wasn't Yahoo, it was 419 back then. And somehow, I don't know how he felt victim. Guess what? The very first thing he did was to go and experiment with smoking, Indian hemp or something like that. And that was it. That has been his journey ever since. He has not been able to be mentally stable since then. Life will happen, setback will happen, disappointment will happen. Having a tough skin is not letting it penetrate beyond where it's supposed to penetrate. Being able to maintain emotional balance. Like I said, life will happen. Your child should be able to, they call it chest it, and not be broken. They will have frustration tolerance. They will face challenges. They will not give up. So if you have a child who gives up easily, who in the face of an obstacle, they are crying, they are whining, they want to give up, toddlers, or they're easily frustrated, something is not going their way, they are frustrated, they are throwing tantrums, or you have a child who, a grown-up child, twin or 18, something is not going their way, they are depressed, they are sulking for a long time. It is time for you to wake up and deliberately begin to nurture tough skin in them. Begin to create an atmosphere that nurtures tough skin in them. What you want to do is to drop the overprotection. Drop it already. Overprotection. Drop it. Every time, parents, you are always protecting your child, even from what they can do, what they would gladly do. You see children offer to do things, parents jump in the way. You are always hovering around, protecting your child. You don't want them to make mistakes. You don't want things to happen to them. Hey, what about children doing it? I read about this woman's name. I don't remember her name. She said she started cooking at 5. She was in her grandmother in the village. She started cooking at 5. Really? Today she's who she is because of all those skills she learns. Your child cannot do anything. Nah. Something happens, your child, you are going to fight. Really? You see parents coming to school all the time to report, to complain, to fight. Even parents quarreling with each other because of children are playing. Children are playing. I said something one day on Facebook that parents, your child is playing at home, your child falls. You treat your child, you don't do anything. Your child goes to school, your child falls. Your child even sustains less injury, lesser than the one he sustains when he falls at home. The next thing, you are marching to school. Every single time. When my kids come back from school, they get injured when they were much younger. One of the first things I want to know is what happened. If it's playground accident, then that is it. It was when they were playing. I just tell them, sorry, accident happens, especially when children are playing. When people play rough, this is one of the things you get. They already know that. When they play rough, one of the things they get is they get injured. It is only when I hear maybe a teacher flogged and injured them. That is the only time. Or maybe a much older student bullies them. The only time you see me now go to school and say, what is happening? So parents, everything, any single thing, they are in school, they are quarreling, they are fighting, teachers. Like, are you kidding me? You are making your child feel, oh, things are not supposed to be. Opportunities you're supposed to take to teach your child. This is how life works, so you need to be tough. You need to know how to navigate it. You need to know how to protect yourself. No, you will go there and make the child feel that it is a big deal. You make the child feel that it's not supposed to be like that. You make the child feel that your child is a victim. Back then in Lagos, I had a neighbor, not necessarily a friend, who would go to school over everything. No wonder her children were jelly. She would go to school over everything. Her child and another child, we have an argument. They will come home and tell her. The next thing she will go to the school. The next thing she will call the child's parents. You think, oh, you are trying to show love to your children. Nah, you are raising jellies. Except you are going to leave your children wrapped in a bubble. It is why they can't stand the heat. Small thing happens like this. They are breaking. They are shattering. They are depressed. They are unhappy. Little things happen like this, they cannot take it. So please drop the overprotection. In fact, have a list of you jump in when it comes to your children. When is this particular issue? I jump in. But when is this? I don't jump in. The same happens as chores, even at home chores. You tell them, if it is particular chore, I'll come and help you. If it is particular chore, I'm not helping you. If you cannot do it, be there, be learning. Now finding your way, problem solving, navigating it. I won't help you. So stop the overprotection. Stop overprotecting your child. You overprotect your child when you don't allow them make mistakes. You overprotect your child when you are always telling them what to do. You overprotect your child when they have done something. You don't allow them face the consequences of their actions. You overprotect your child when what your child is supposed to be stand up for. You are the one standing up. Your child is supposed to be able to stand up to his classmates and say, don't do this. All you need to do is to come back home and teach them the skills. Problem solve with them. How do you do this? Let them go. When you are now the one going to stand for them, you are overprotecting them. You are overprotecting your child when you go and buy private center for them to write their exam. Let them write. If they fail, they go back again. That is the resilience we are talking about. I always say to parents that, you see, when we look at people, and very many people who are entrepreneurs doing so well, if you look at the academic record, you realize that very many of them back then in school, they were struggling, you know. Not all of them were successful academically. But when it now comes to entrepreneurship, they are successful. I said, do you know why? Because one of the reasons is that when they were in school, you see all those times they didn't get their questions right, they didn't pass, nobody was clapping for them, nobody was applauding them. They were building tough skin, they were building resilience. So by the time they now got into the real world, they have built enough resilience to take on challenges and know not to give up. They have enough tough skin to say, okay, it is not going this way, good and fine. I didn't get it, good and fine. I'm going to do it again. But you see all those ones who are naturally academically gifted, right? Except they are naturally, should I use the word rugged? That is when they will not succeed entrepreneurially. Otherwise, because they are used to being shielded. Oh, they do well in school, so all they get all the time is already applaud all the time. So unfortunately, when they not get to the real world, it doesn't happen like that. So they are not able to face obstacles, so they get broken. So stop the overprotection. Drop it already. Do not overprotect your child. Stop it. If you're a parent, you're overprotecting your child, you're not doing your child any good at all. So drop the overprotection right now. You see the criticism, the excessive criticism, or even excessive praise. Please lower it. Lower it. It doesn't build skills. When you want to praise a child, it's not necessarily because of what they have achieved, because of their efforts, the processes. When you want to encourage a child, encourage effort. That's what I say to parents. Encourage effort. Teach your child to set goals. Put in the work. That putting in the work, I tell you, will give you results. Now, whether that putting in the work gives you result or not, praise puts in the work. So when you want to criticize a child also, remove the end product. Look at the processes. What happened? Where didn't you get it right? Processes. That is it. Because resilience is in the processes. That is where they build it. Especially as a parent, you constantly criticizing your child. What you are doing, you are removing, you are withdrawing, you are emptying their resilience bank. You are rendering it empty, their resilience bank. So at the end of the day, they will not have that mental stamina because you have emptied it. You completely emptied it. So they will not have the mental stamina to probably pursue life the way they are supposed to pursue life. Because you have criticized them. You have told them they are not good enough. You have said all sorts of manners to them. So the mental resilience is no longer there. And when you praise a child, for very many people, they become complacent. Like they don't want to grow. Because if you say, oh my God, this thing is absolutely beautiful. It simply means absolute, the end of beauty. So when your child is doing something tomorrow, this is where it wants to stop. Remember, it's absolutely beautiful. This is where it wants to stop. They don't want to go beyond that because they are afraid that going beyond that may not be that. It is not, may no longer be good because you have said this is the end of beauty. So going beyond that may not actually be good enough. So they want to remain in the place. Now, because they have learned to remain in the place, they go to the real world. The real world will stretch them beyond that place that has become their comfort zone. So what happens? No mental stamina to fight. No mental stamina to keep going. So that is why I say you praise the processes, not necessarily the end results, the efforts. There is always something to acknowledge, always something to praise. So the criticism, the excessive praise, drop it already. Inconsistent rules and boundaries. Children don't know when to stop. They don't know what is expected of them. They don't know the miles they are going. They do anything and they get away with anything. They do anything and they get away with anything because you don't have boundaries. Your boundaries are not consistent. You don't have structure. Coincidentally, in the academy, it's all about parenting with structure this month. No boundary, no structure, nothing. So children just behave randomly. To build tough skin, there has to be something like a cage. Something like, because, hey, something like that will stretch the child. That is what structure does. Structure defines boundaries, rules, regulations, laws. It may not be convenient for the child, but he doesn't have a choice. That is how they build resilience. That is how they become tough-skinned. People don't like when people tell them, oh, you have a mole on your face. They don't like it, but hey, they'll have to take it as part of life. Bounce it off and move. They'll have to learn to cope with it. What is there? They learn to cope with it. So when you have rules, when you have structures, you have systems in your place, your children learn to cope with expectations. They learn to know that, no, mom, this rule my mom said is not fair. They learn to know that life is not always fair. Life will not always give them what they want. Oh, I want to watch television all day. The rule says you can only watch 2 hours a day. That's not fair, of course. Of course. Raising children with tough skin requires you to hear it is not fair very many times. If it keep being fair, if it's always all good and rosy, they are always happy, nah. There's every likelihood that you are giving them no boundaries, no structure. Everything is porous. They are doing anything. They are doing things anyhow, and the result they'll get will be anyhow. So rules and structures, rules, regulations, structure, consistent ones. One of the ways you are actually nurturing tough skin in your child. If your parents don't have a structure, you are on a long thing. You need to send a message and get your family structure. You can send a message and get your family constitution, so that you can create these things and begin to nurture tough skin in your children. When you are emotionally unavailable to your children, you are reducing their chances of building tough skin. Now, I say to parents that when your child misbehaves, now this is where natural consequence comes to play. When your child misbehaves, let them face natural logical consequences. Now, what you need to do is to be there for them, empathize with them, and problem solve with them. You are not the one imposing the consequences of them. No. You have the natural and the logical consequence of their actions. So what do? You now provide emotional support. That emotional support goes a long way in helping your children build skills, nurture strength. Yesterday, my 8-year-old was trying to draw. He was trying to recreate a picture he saw, and it was frustrating. At a point he was crying and he was going to give up, and he was crying that he was going to give up and all of that. What did I do? At that point, I had to because it is not even a big deal. It's not even a do or die that he creates the picture. But I know that it is an opportunity for him to build resilience. He was just trying to be creative, He was bored. I've always told them that when you are bored, look for something to entertain yourself. And that was one of the things he was doing. He was bored. He was trying to recreate a picture he had seen. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing is, apart from creativity, I noted that, okay, struggling with that was a way for him to build resilience. And he was crying, he was frustrated. So what did I do? All I needed to do was to be emotionally available. So I called him, I hugged him, we talked about it. Okay, take a deep breath, wait, calm down. When you feel better, you are not going to give up, are you? He said he wasn't going to draw again. In fact, he was going to stop drawing completely for the rest of his life. He wasn't going to draw. And coincidentally, we had done our Bible study that yesterday, and we're talking about hard work, the meaning of hard work, and how hard work is obedience to God and all of that. They all came handy. Now, this is where you need parenting on your knees. You must get parenting on your knees. Oh, it's a parenting manual, a prayer manual for your children, for you and your children. Your children pray for themselves, you pray for your children, and You have a conversation with them. So yesterday we're talking about what is it called? We're talking about hard work, and I had to link it. Hard work means when you feel like giving up, don't give up. That is hard work. You feel like giving up, put in one more effort. Each time you feel like giving up, put in one more effort. And we talked about how hard work is obedience to God, because God asked man to work hard. We talked about it. I provided all the support he needed. At the end of the day, he felt good. He went back to try again. He still wasn't able to capture it the way he wanted. So what did he do? He put the books away and he went to sleep, because it was already bedtime. He went to sleep and said today he was going to continue with it. That the following day he was going to continue with it. That is providing support. I did not have to criticize him. I could have told him, I beg God, if you can't draw it, go and throw it away. Is it by force, or is anybody paying you? What's the big deal? Or I could have told him, is that why you are crying? You are crying like a baby and all of that, or you are doing like a girl. I could have said all of that to him, but no, I provided emotional support. That was all he needed, and that made a great deal of difference. If I had told him, go and drop it, I beg, go and sit down, you are disturbing me or something, he probably would not have gone back to draw again. That means I had confirmed that he would not be able to draw. I had confirmed that he should not, he should not persist. He should not be determined. He should not try he should not try putting the best foot forward. He should not keep making effort. That was my confirmation if I had gone that route. But no, what I did was to be emotionally available. I was actually having my class already, the Visionary Parent Academy. We were already holding when it happened, However, I had to pause for a bit to just make sure I provided that emotional support, which actually made a great deal of difference. So you must learn to always be emotionally available for your child if you want to nurture tough skin in your child. Have you heard about the Self-Led Mentorship Book Club? A self-leadership academy for preteens and teens ages 8 to 17. We have the Easter edition coming, and they are going to be learning a great deal. We want to empower them with skills, knowledge, information to be able to thrive in the time they are. This session, we are going to have 4 coaches. They have 12 topics. We have 6 classes. The fee is just 10,000 naira for now, which ends next week. After next week, the fee goes to 15,000 naira. And I tell you, for what they will be learning, 15,000 naira, it's a steal. They are going to be learning for 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays of the 2 weeks they are going to be having the Easter holiday. It is going to be transformational for them. I tell you, we are nurturing self-leadership in them. We want to raise children who can lead themselves. So what you want to do is to send a message, ages 8 to 17. I tell you, your kids are going to be they are going to super enjoy it, because we have beautiful programs and coaches that will coach them. Don't limit your child's experience. Oh God, I see parents make this mistake a lot. Their children cannot play with certain people. Their children are locked inside. They can't play with certain people. They only go to school, they go to church, and that is all. What about the friends in the neighborhood? They can't play, they can't say hi. The children cannot even move from here to there to do anything. Children are locked inside. They have nannies, they have maids. Children are only watching television, they are only playing games. Are you kidding me? I have said it over and over again that the skills your children need to thrive is not in front of television, and neither is in the front of game. Yes, they need hands-on, they need interaction, they need experience. So please release your kids. Stop locking them. Don't stop locking them. They need to interact with the real world to know how the real world works. They need people at their age now to tell them things. They need things now to happen to them. Then they will learn. That is them learning. You are here now to provide support. You are here with them to provide support. So they need to learn now. So leave them. Let them experience diverse. Let them have diverse experience. Let them experience opportunities. Let them experience things. Stop caging them. You are raising jellies when you are caging your children. Your children, they are not independent. They can't do anything. You are caging them. You are raising jellies when your children cannot handle age-appropriate chores. Please let your children do things. Leave them, let them interact. I'm not saying let them interact with dangerous or porous neighbors. No. You shouldn't even live in a porous or dangerous neighborhood. When you have children, you are still raising. So let them interact. Let them know how the real world works. Let them come back and tell you, oh, what happened? What did not happen? See what happened. And you sit down. Both of you problem solve with them. Let them face issues every now and then. And you teach them coping mechanism. How to cope. How to navigate. You begin to teach them. Let them come and share their experiences with you. My children come all the time and they tell me, oh, mommy, the children, because we moved to a place not too long ago, and there's some of the things that happen here, they are still like not able to understand. You know, like coming from Lagos to a suburb, they are not able to understand a lot of things. So every time they come back from school, they are sharing what they learned and what they experienced with me, and we are talking about it. We are brainstorming together. So I'm teaching them coping mechanism. I'm teaching them different alternatives they can explore whenever they find themselves in situations. So after teaching them, I will not leave them. Let them. So when they come back and say, oh, mom, I experienced this, I'll ask them, how did you handle it? How did you cope? What was the strategy you used? We talked about it. What are the options? You know, so which one do you think would have been better, or was better, or is better? They explore all of that. At the end of the day, they face the same challenge. They are better equipped. Nah. You can't keep denying your children. You can't keep stopping them from experiencing what they are supposed to experience. I'm supposed to teach them, all in the name of you don't want your children to mix up with certain children. Then you go to a place you want your children to mix up with and stop caging them. You're not doing them a favor by locking them, by caging them, by not allowing them to mix with people. You're not doing them a favor at all. If you know you have certain people you don't want them to mix with, then go to a place where you can allow them mix so that they can learn from practical experience. They go to school, they learn, yes. They go to church, they learn, yes. They go to their neighborhood park, they learn, yes. They're on the street playing with their friends, they are learning, they are constantly learning. Please, minimize the television, minimize the games, minimize social media, and have them learn practically from practical experience. Model tough skin. Yes, you want to raise tough skin children. You cannot keep complaining, keep whining, and you are not doing anything. All you do is situations happen, issues happen, you are always complaining. You are always the victim, complaining, criticizing. You are not modeling tough skin. Have your child hear your solutions, what you are doing, how you are navigating issues, not just complaining, not just gossiping. Share with them your experiences, everyday experiences. You were going to work, something happened, you had a flat tire. How did you handle it? You talk about it. You had a terrible, you have a terrible boss in the office that does XYZ. How do you handle it? You are talking to your children how to handle it. You are not coming home to gossip. You are not coming home to criticize people. You are not coming home to complain. You are talking about how you are handling life, how you are handling things, how you are doing things, how you are making things happen in your favor, how you are making this happen the way you want it to happen, the solutions you are providing, the issues that you talk to them about, the issues, you talk to them about the solutions. That is how you are raising tough-skinned children. No, you come back, you are judging this person, you are condemning the other person, gossiping all over the place, complaining, feeling like the victim or acting the victim. Nah. You're not doing yourself or your child any favor. You see, drop all that gossip, all that noise. They are for small-minded people. Big-minded people, they solve problems. So you want to teach your child how to solve problems by sharing the problems you encounter with them and telling them how you solve the problem. Of course, you have to make it in an age-appropriate way. So drop all the complaints, all the victim mentality, drop them already. Begin to solve problems and begin to teach your children how you are solving problems. Share with them how you are navigating your everyday and how you are solving problems. The challenges life is throwing at you, share it with them in an age-appropriate way. And then tell them how you are navigating it. Lastly, have a relationship with your child. If you don't have a relationship with your child, I wonder if you can come and be sharing with them how your day went or anything. If you don't have a relationship with your child, I wonder if you'll be able to provide empathy, support them emotionally through their struggles. Have a relationship with your child so that your child can come to you and share with you what they are going through. If they don't share with you what they are going through, how will you not sit down and empathize and problem solve with them? You would not be able to do that. Remember, you need to be emotionally available for them. So if you don't have a relationship with them, they may not be able to trust you with what goes on in their life. And if they don't trust you and they don't share with you, how would you know when to be emotionally available? So build, deliberately work on your relationship with your child. And I want to invite you again to join us in the Visionary Parent Academy. Registration is still open and is closing by the end of this month. You don't want to miss out. You want to join us and learn all about parenting. I tell you, it is a vibrant academy that you are going to enjoy every single moment you are with us in the Visionary Parent Academy. Again, you want to send a message to us how you can join. We have a lot of amazing resources. If you have any questions in your parenting, just send a message and you'll get a resource that will work perfectly for you. We currently have a group, Parenting on Your Knees, prayer community for our children. You need to join that community. You just need to buy the manual, which is 3,000 naira, and you are admitted into the community where you get commentary to each prayer every single day. It is a beautiful community. And we have our self-led mentorship class coming on for the Easter edition. 10,000 naira till next week for your child. So jump in now, because by next week Tuesday it is no longer 10,000 naira, it becomes 15,000 naira. So jump in now and register your child. Let's do our path in building, nurturing tough skin in your children. Let's work together, to raise children who will not just survive but thrive in the times they are. Let's work together to raise children who will not be local champions but global champions, who will not be survivors but impact makers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Headon. See you next week Monday. Bye bye.